Morning everyone, here is Mahik. Today we are going to discuss about the chapter 3 civics of class ninth, that is constitutional design. So when we are reading this chapter, a question arises, what actually we meant by constitution? A constitution is a body of fundamental principles or established precedent according to which a state or other organization is acknowledged to be governed. Democratic Constitution in South Africa. In this chapter, we saw that there is one example of South Africa through which they are trying to make us understand that what types of difficulties were there in the path of making the democratic constitution in South Africa. Let us try to understand this. So, as this heading suggests, that we are going to discuss about the democratic constitution in South Africa. So, first we have to learn or acknowledge ourselves that what would be conditions in Africa that Africans face to build their constitution or to make themselves democratic. So, first of all, there was the apartheid system privileged over that area, and it is the system in which people were discriminated on the basis of their color, on the basis of their skin color. They were divided into four parts, that were whites, blacks, Indians, and colored. There was the system of segregation there, which means that all the people in that area have, whether it is a black or white, they have different facilities provided over there. So our next topic is, after having a lots of strikes in South Africa, the white government agreed to make a new constitution. So what were the steps that were taken towards a new constitution? Let us try to discuss about it. As per the pressure of the protest and strike of blacks to gain their independence and all their rights, the white changed its policies, discriminatory laws were repealed. There was a ban on political parties and restrictions on the media were lifted after 28 years of imprisonment of Nelson Mandela, walked out of the jail as a free man. Finally, at the 26th April 1994, the new national flag of the Republic of South Africa was installed, marking the newly born democracy in the world, paving way for the formation of multiracial government. So here a question arises, what actually a multiracial government means? So the people who were ruling over there and who were oppressed by them, they joined their hands together and making a new constitution of South Africa, which means that white and black are together now. So now what happens after that? Black leaders appeal to fellow blacks to forgive the whites for the atrocities that they had committed while in power. They said, let us build a new South Africa based on equality of all races, men and women, on democratic values, social justice and human rights. The party that ruled to oppression and brutal killings and the party that led the freedom struggle sat together to draw up a common constitution for South Africa, to live a perfect life, not to again face the past sacrifices that they had sacrificed. So, after when the Constitution of South Africa was established, it was the year 1994. Till that year, most of the countries had got their independence. So we can say that the country who were there in the condition of apartheid system, apartheid system was privileged over that country, was now having the finest constitution in the world. Let us discuss how. So here we are talking about the finest constitution of the world. As we saw that Africa had sacrificed and a lot they do now, how they face the problem and how difficult it was for them to overcome that, so that they don't want any such law and their constitution that again force them to face all their sacrifice that they had done before. So, as per the demand and wishes of the people, South Africa formulated one of the finest constitution of the world has ever had. The Constitution of South Africa give to its citizens the most extensive rights available in any country. Together, they decide that in the search for a solution to the problems, nobody should be excluded, no one should be treated as demon. The preamble to the South African Constitution sum up this spirit. The South African Constitution inspires democratic all over the world, a state denounced by the entire world till 1994 as the most and democratic one, is now seen as a model of democracy. What made this change possible was the determination of the people of South Africa to work together to transform better experiences into the glow of a rainbow nation. So, here we call South Africa a rainbow nation because it is the nation with different types of skin color people present, which make a rainbow, in which means that the people having different types of skin color and different opinions living together with harmony. And now our next topic is, why do we need a constitution? We had finally discussed about what actually a constitution means and how different countries fought for their constitution. So, the thing for what we had fought before, why do we actually need that? Let us try to understand it well. So, South Africa is the good example that we learn now that the oppressor and the oppressed in this new democracy was planning to live together and equal. It was not going to be easy for them to trust on each other. They had their fears. They wanted to safeguard their interest. For this, they make some laws which were recorded in a book, and that book is known as a constitution. What are the things that constitution does? It generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kinds of people to live together. It specifies how the government will be constituted, who will have power to take which decision. Now, our next constitution is making of the Indian constitution. As we all know, India is having a very large geographical area consisting different kinds of religions, different kinds of people with different kinds of opinions with them. So it was very difficult to make Indian constitution as per the wishes of the people. But as we now see, we can say that India is satisfied with the democratic constitution which it have. So let us see what were the important points in making of the Indian constitution. So during the time of making the constitution of India, people were emerging from the status of subjects to the citizens. The country was divided into two parts, that is Pakistan and India. It was having an assembly that is known as Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly also divided into two parts as Pakistan Constituent Assembly and Indian Constituent Assembly. Indian Constituent Assembly consists 299 members, and And Pakistan National Assembly, Constituent Assembly was having the same number of members. Therefore, national movement was not a struggle against a foreign rule. It was a struggle to rejuvenate our country and to transform our society and politics. In 1928, Motilal Nehru and some 8 other Congress leaders drafted a constitution for India in 1931. The resolution at the Karachi session of the Indian National Congress dwelt on how independent India's constitution should look like. For as a general knowledge, I would like to share an information with all of you that our President of Constituent Assembly is Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and of the drafting committee was Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. And we had we are inspired from other countries, but on our own terms. We were inspired by the idea of the French Revolution, the practice of parliamentary democracy in Britain, and the Bill of Rights in the US. They had inspired many Indians to think of shaping a system based on a social and economic equality. This is how our country learned from other countries and implied that law in our constitution. Now we're going to discuss about a constituent assembly. What actually a constituent assembly was. The drafting of the document called the constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives called the constituent assembly. Elections to the constituent assembly was held in July 1946. Its first meeting was held in December 1946. After the partition of India into India and Pakistan, the Constituent Assembly was also divided into the Constituent Assembly of India and that of Pakistan. The Constituent Assembly that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members, as we already discussed about it. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26 November 1949, but it came into effect on 26 January 1950. This day in India is celebrated as Republic Day every year. Now we're going to discuss about Mahatma Gandhi's significant role in making the Constitution. As we saw Constituent Assembly and many other matters, the making of Indian Constitution, we didn't hear about the name of Mahatma Gandhi. What does it mean? As we can say that Mahatma Gandhi plays a very important role in making of the Constitution. There was a magazine. There was a magazine called Young India. It was established in 1931. Mahatma Gandhi was the writer of that newspaper, and there are some thoughts of Mahatma Gandhi written over here. You can stop the video and read it. Let's move to the next one. So this is the end of the video. I hope you like the video, and at the last I would like to say that Indian Constitution is very wide. It is very difficult to understand it. But as we all see now, India is satisfied with our constitution and living with the harmony till now. If there will be any change, if there will be needed any change in the constitution, we have the procedure for this also. So I hope you like my video. Please share, subscribe and like my channel. Thank you.